So we're on there. So I want to say welcome everybody. We just kind of chit chatting. Me and one of my sons in the ministry. This is Phelan, and we just kicking it. Just chit chatting. We just talking about really about keeping it real. We were talking about how people see the outside and don't see the inside, and one of the statements that my son just said was, people are what was he saying? People are trapped in ignorance, right?
Yes.
And and I had said there's two sides of that coin. That you got the Pharisees, because he had mentioned that it was like in the biblical days, the Pharisees was in charge, and they like keeping people ignorant. It was the norm. People like the norm. So, anyway, we'll get back to that. But anyway, we're talking about things like, people misconstrued who we are, and looking at the outside and not seeing that and being stuck in that ignorance, and but my question is, what are we gonna do? What can we do to get those that don't want to be ignorant? Because you got those that don't want to be ignorant. You got the ones that that are comfortable in their ignorance. Because you got those that are comfortable in. Like in slavery, you had the Uncle Tom cabin. Mm-hmm. You have those that want to be oppressed.
Right. They take comfort in that.
Yeah.
This is how I eat. This is what provides for me, and I've come to accept it as my plot and my lot on life.
Yeah.
We're creatures of habit by nature, and we carve out our own nestle or portion for ourselves, and we operate within that. And once I got there, I've mastered that. It's safe for me. I'm comfortable here, and I don't want to leave it. I'm capable of full on retiring right here, doing this forever. When God has called us to ultimately change.
Right.
Always change. Everything's constantly evolving. He is the only thing that does not change.
Amen. Amen.
He requires us to constantly change in order to become better, more effective, and more efficient. Because of our comfortable viewpoints, we look at a person and we track them. They go to work at this time, they come home at this time, they expect this, they do that, and we follow suit with that, and that's who they are. That's just the surface.
Right.
These are not who a person is. It's attributes of a person.
Right.
It's things that they do that are necessary for whatever situation, whatever means, whatever end.
Right.
It's necessary, but that doesn't. You can't describe the whole person by its attributes alone.
Right. That makes sense.
The person has to have some say on who he is.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
But by grand design, in an old cliche, actions speak louder than words. We take what you do, and that's your script, and that's how we categorize you and say who you are.
Right.
Whether you're good or bad, or dependable or not, or understandable or caring, or this or that.
Right.
These are all categories based on attributes and physical displays, but that has nothing to do with the inward workings of a man.
Amen.
Or a woman.
I agree.
It has nothing to do with the inward workings of how someone processes someone to get these results that are being shown, that slide you into a particular characteristic.
Yeah, because you never know what's happening on the inside.
You never know what's happening on the inside.
You never know what's going on the inside of a person. And I mean, the point being is, you see what a person wants you to see.
Yeah.
You know, one day, you know, a guy told me, you know, he didn't even know me. And he said, you know, I really like you. You're a real nice guy. You know, I said, man, you don't even know me. He said, but you're a real nice guy. I said, yeah, that's what they said about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right. Right. You know?
You know, but I'm just saying, I mean, I was joking, but I mean, think about it.
It's the truth.
You know, people thought he was a real nice guy when they met him.
About the guy who had the two women that had children living in their basement
there
for the
go.
last 15 years.
Real nice guy.
They were kidnapped. Real nice guy, had barbecues, played music, and everything else.
There you go.
It really.
But on the inside.
On the inside.
He was doing terrible things. Sick on the inside.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. We got to deal with what's on the inside.
Of course, that's the only.
Because God sees the inside.
That's the only way transformation works.
Amen.
From the inside
Amen.
out.
Amen.
It's not on the outward. It's
right.
not what's on the outward. That's
right.
cosmetic.
Amen. Amen. I like that. I like that.
It's cosmetic.
Yeah, because you know, I think that's what we do. We miss that mark.
Mm-hmm.
I think we missed that mark today. You know, we look at these kids today, you know, with their pants hanging down and this, that, and the other, and we judge them. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I raise my hand. I'm first one guilty, because I can't get a little upset when I see these little youngsters run around here with their pants hanging down, their booty showing. Now they done got lower now.
Right.
You know, and you know, and I do. I say, well, put your pants up. But we need to look at what's going on in the inside of these kids.
Of course. I'll give you an example of that. The traditional talks you have with young men is girls, don't steal, be honest, stay away from drugs and alcohol, so on and so forth. You know, this is the birds and the bees. And we have this tradition and this ritualism that we practice, you know, throughout the generations and so on and so forth. And when you think you got it covered, there's always something that slipped in. And I was talking with a colleague. My nephew got caught with counterfeit money. So where does that fit into the criteria of growth, you know,
right.
as far as these little talks that we have to prevent this, prevent that? Well, son, let me tell you about counterfeit money in case you run into that. Who thinks of that?
Right.
No one thinks of that.
Nobody
Thinks of that, you know, and
right.
nobody sits down and have a talk about expressing to a young man the difference between counterfeit money and real money. And in case you run across this, you don't want to do it, but there's a law for that.
That's funny. I had a counterfeit bill that put it in my hand before. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. It was early in the morning. I didn't know.
Right. And these are the things you try to prepare for something.
Yeah. And
this is what you mark your safety net based upon. I've covered this area all the way to that area, but there is no depths and there's no cap to the depths of despair which man can fall to.
Right. Amen.
There is no cap or bottom to the depths of hurt that man can inflict upon one another. And to say that I have this or that, or you're this or that, is just an illusion.
Right.
This is just what you're left with today, or you're experiencing today at this point in time. Now, do we have control over those things? Not really.
True.
We don't have control over anything. Control is an illusion too.
It is.
It's an illusion too.
Such thing.
And so, all you're reduced to is trying to be the best person you can one day at a time.
Amen.
And what that entails. And that's based upon what you're willing to work on. Are you willing to work? See, we want the end results without putting in the work.
Amen.
You know,
that's so true.
We want the end results without putting in the work. We want an infallible ministry, but no one wants to work in a vineyard.
Right.
No one wants to talk to the bum that stinks.
That's right.